All right, y'all. So my headset is dead today, so I didn't have time. So I hope y'all are able to hear this. But basically, this is our notes on um, factoring when a is greater than one. Okay, so we started these. This is over a 2-day process for us. We just kind of started them and hit a few highlights the first day, and then we spent more time on it today. Okay, so the very first ones we did, which consisted of our kind of warm up there, were just regular factoring problems. Okay, so in other words, there was no GCF. My number here was 1. So I drew my X. 1 times 45 gave me 45. 14 went in the bottom. You're finding the two numbers that multiply to give you 45 and add to give you 14. And we went with 9 and 5, okay, which gave us X plus 9 and X plus 5, and we were done. All right, similarly, we're going to do this one over here. Again, numbers 1, no GCF. So 1 times negative 28 is negative 28, negative 3 in the bottom. And that gave y'all negative 7 and positive 4. And so you had n minus 7 and n plus 4. Okay. So those are kind of the very, very first ones we did where you didn't have GCF. A was always 1. Not much other than just knowing your multiplication facts. Okay. All right. Then we went down to where we did have a GCF. So like on number 3, and it will be number 4. Okay. 1a minus 12. All right. Then we had to say, okay, we've gotten that far. Now, can we factor in here? And so we Xbox this. So again, now that's a 1. 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. This one goes in the bottom. And we found our two numbers, which happen to be 4 and negative 3. Okay, so again, that gave you the A plus 4, A minus 3. But remember, we've got to have that GCF brought down. So that 2 does have to stay outside. Otherwise, you'll never have a 2 with your A squared whenever we're doing that, okay? All right, so likewise over here, we had a GCF of 4, which gave us 4 on the outside, and then P squared minus 6P plus 5. Again, we're going to Xbox that because A was now 1, and that was 5 and negative 6, which gave me negative 5 and negative 1. So I had P minus 5 and P minus 1, and don't forget to bring your 4 down. Okay, so that was the first couple of days of factoring that we did, just in general. Okay, then we moved on to our new way. Okay, so what we call, or I call, the bottoms up method. All right, so I have your steps up here. Make sure you factor out your GCF. There is one. Y'all, the first several we do don't have a GCF. Multiply the front number in front of X squared. We were doing that with the number without the X. Okay, don't forget your signs. Factor using Xbox like normal. Here is where things get different. Okay, so these last 3 steps. All right, so here we go. First problem, no GCF between 2, 5, and 3. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to multiply first times last, and that's going to give me a 6. And then my middle number is still my middle number. Going to fill it in just like we would regular Xbox. Multiply to give me 6, add to give me 5 is going to be 2 and 3. So now what we have is X plus 2 and X plus 3. All right, step number 4, divide both factors by the number in front of X squared. So our number that we multiplied by up here was 2. So we're going to go down here and we're going to divide both of these factors by 2. Reduce the fractions. 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 does not go into 3. So it says if the number left is not a whole number, 3 over 2 is not a whole number, put the denominator, that's our bottom value, in front of X. And this is what I call bottoms up. Bottoms up, bottoms up. Okay, so we're going to move that 2 to the front and leave everything else the same. Okay, I may not get through all of these in the time I have, but we'll do our best. Okay, same thing here. Example number 2. No GCF. Like I said, the first several will not. We'll add GCF in at the last. Okay, so that gave me 30 and negative 17. Always your middle number is your bottom number. Okay, write them out if you don't know your factors, but we're going to go with negative 15 and negative 2. You know, the coloring on this stuff, you know, it aggravates me. Okay, so now we are going to divide by what we multiply by. So that's that 5. So we're going to divide off both of them by 5. So 5 goes into 15 3 times. 5 can't go into 2. So we bottoms up, and there we go. Okay. So 2 more examples like this. Same thing on number 3, no GCF. So 6 times negative 4 is negative 24, and negative 5 is our bottom number. It's going to give me 2 sides of negative 8 and positive 3. So I've got y minus 8 and y plus 3. Our front number here is 6, so we're going to divide by 6. All right, so here's where it gets as hard as it's going to get for y'all. 8 divided by 6 and 3 divided by 6. Neither one of those go evenly. So this is where step number 5 is crucial. You have got to reduce. Okay? 8 over 6 is going to reduce down to 4 over 3. 3 over 6 is going to reduce down to 1 over 2. Now you can proceed to bottoms up. You cannot bottoms up until you have reduced, y'all. Otherwise, if you were to work it back out, it would not work out mathematically equivalent, okay? And that would be our answer. Please study your multiplication facts, y'all, because lots of y'all are still, that's your problem, is you don't know your multiplication facts, and it's not helping you with trying to solve the problem. All right, so negative 60, positive 11. We did 15 and negative 4. So I'm going to have to divide by 12. And again, we're going to reduce these, okay? So 15 over 12 is going to turn into 5 over 4. And 4 over 12 is going to turn into 1 over 3. And now we can bottoms up. Okay, so that's what we did the first day. We just went through those 4. Just kind of give you an idea of what was going on. Okay, so then we spent more time today doing several of these. Okay, so literally I'm just going to start. I guess I could, hold on. All right, I'm just going to start with number 1. Okay, the first, I think it was 6, did not have a GCF, okay? So we're not worried about GCF right now. I'm telling you it doesn't have one, so we're just going to start with first times last. Okay. All right, so we're going to use negative 6 and negative 5. So I've got x minus 6 and x minus 5. And those are going to be divided by that front number. That's the number you multiplied by. 6 divided by 3 is going to give me 2. And then we're going to bottoms up here and get 3x minus 5. Okay, number 2. So let me drag this one over here, just making sure everybody's having time to get it done. All right, again, no GCF. So we're going to do 8 times 3, and that's going to give me 24 and negative 10. Okay, y'all remember, factors, 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, so forth, okay? We need a 10, we need a negative 10, we need a 10. I know that both of these can give me a 10, but I need a negative 10 and a positive 24. Remember, to be a positive up top and a negative down bottom, they both have to be negative. So it's going to be negative 6 and negative 4. If you're not sure, trial and error and use your calculator, okay? All right, and then these are going to have to be divided by our 8. And again, we've got two fractions that we have to reduce. So that turns into y minus 3 over 4 and y minus 1/2. And now we can bottoms up. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Number 3. All right, number 3. So we're going to go 9 times negative 2 is negative 18, 3 on the bottom. Okay. Factors, think about them. Pause my video, figure it out. Okay, it's going to be 6 and negative 3. So we've got m plus 6 and m minus 3. And we're going to divide those by 9. Reduce. And bottoms up. Okay. All right, let's look over here at number 4. All right, 10 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 20. Negative 1 down in the bottom. Negative 5, positive 4. And those need to be divided by our 10. So we're going to reduce. Reduce, reduce, reduce. That's 1/2 and 2/5. So now you can bottoms up. All right. Okay. All right, I'm going to work through these. So go ahead and pause the video if you want to and work on 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to work through them relatively fast so that I can get to the other ones before the end of the school day today. Okay. So I'm not really going to talk much through these. This one is a little different though, so I do want to talk about it once I get to the final answer. Okay, so 2a minus 1 and 2a minus 1. And remember, if we have it twice, we can write it once and square it. This one works too. They are mathematically equivalent, but a lot of times the EOC is going to have it as the 2a minus 1 quantity squared. Okay, go back, pause that, work through that one if you need to. Okay. All right, I like this one because it has a big number up here, which most of y'all, again, are not super wonderful at knowing your multiplication facts. We need a positive one, so it's going to be an x plus 9 and an x minus 8. We're going to divide those by 6. Okay, and then we're going to bottoms up, making it 2x plus 3 and 3x minus 4. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we go in the ones that do contain a GCF. All right. So that means we do have to look for that first. All right. So like on number 7, I'm going to notice first that everything here is divisible by 5. So I'm going to start by factoring out my 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2k squared. 75 divided by 5 is 15k plus 7. From here, everything remains the same. 2 times 7 is 14 with a 15 on the bottom. 14 and 1. But then we do go back and we multiplied by 2, so we're going to divide by 2. That doesn't go evenly, so it becomes 2k plus 1. But again, we don't forget we've got this 5 out front. That is part of our factors, okay? So it does have to come down. Okay? All right. We've got everything here divisible by 2. Okay? And again, we're going to multiply. We multiplied by 6. We're going to divide by 6. We're going to reduce those. And we're going to bottoms up, making it 2x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. Don't forget your factor GCF of 2. Oops, sorry. All right. Last 2 of these, go ahead and pause the video, work them out on your own, and come back and check your work. GCF first, Xbox, divide, reduce, bottoms up, bring your factor down. Okay, so here we go. Okay, check that one. Pause your video, work out the next one. Take your time, see what you get. Okay, remember, write it twice, square it. Okay. All right, so that covered all of our A is greater than 1 notes, including GCF. Tomorrow will be our last possible way to factor for these, which is using the difference of squares. We'll get that covered tomorrow. And remember, your unit test is at the end of this week.